What's up, y'all? This is Q Ortiz, and welcome to my YouTube channel where we're covering a range of topics on lifestyle, self-care, all that good stuff. Today, this is Transition Talk on the Mucusless Diet Healing System. And you already know, Transition Talk, we just talking about our transition. So let's get into it. Today, we have the homie Ant. What's good, man? What's good?
Yo, what's going on, Q?
Hey, just chilling out. Yeah, you're in Chicago, huh?
Yes, sir. Yep. In the windy city.
Yo, how do when you watching if you watching the Weather Channel, does it have like the news like wind miles per hour with the winds? Like how does that look over there?
Oh yeah. You know, it'll say it's 10 degrees, but with the wind chill it feels like -20 or something like that. So so it's that wind is a serious threat. If you don't come prepared for it, it can hurt you. It literally will hurt you.
How do you prepare for that?
Since just going through so many winters since I've been here, just knowing how to dress, layers, face coverings, when it gets really cold.
Yo. How long have you been there?
Pretty much my whole life. So 33 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Being in Chicago, like, how was it just sort of transitioning into a diet that mostly promotes fruits and vegetables? Like, how did that look for you and your peers and family?
That was I would say it was kind of rough, but just because they, a lot of my family members didn't understand what I was doing, or then don't really, because they heavy in the culture like soul food and celebrating 4th of July and just barbecue type of mentality and just family coming together. We just eat. So for me to just transition and to stop eating certain foods, they were like, they were kind of on my case a lot. So, I got a lot of jokes, a lot of jokes that they kind of, darted at me. So, and just a lot of questions on like, a lot of them was kind of like almost fearful of what I was doing because they didn't understand. So that, it was more so like just lack of knowledge and then fear combined. So they were like questioning, or question me about like something like protein or, you got to get enough, nutrients. Like, are you getting enough? So I would hear all those questions and what I noticed it as the more I, just stuck with it, the less I got it at, because they just saw that this is what I was gonna do. I had my mindset on doing it. I'm actually doing it, and that the jokes start coming less, and actually they start to get more intrigued with what I was doing because they would finally hear more information about health, or they hear about somebody getting ill. So it it kind of changed their perspective. It took maybe over a couple of years though before they really started to just get on board with it at least. They're not practicing, but they at least like respect what I do. So even for my friends, the same thing. So it was like my family and friends were in that same category of what I've just described. So
Okay. Did you lose any friends?
No.
That's cool.
Yeah, my friends are pretty. Like I only have, a few like really good friends,
Yeah.
and they like my brothers. So they know I'm different anyway. So I never do things like everybody else was doing them anyway. So
Yeah.
they just know me. I'm gonna do something different. That's just who I am. So
Okay. Did the dynamics of those relationships change? Like, say, with your friends, they know you're weird, but was there a shift in how you moved around them or how frequent you would see them? Like, how did that look for you?
so yeah, just that definitely changed. Cause I mean I'm into this, so I know they're still just doing the same type of things, whether it's drinking or dealing with alcohol or drugs, or
Yeah.
that's kind of that lower vibration type of lifestyle.
Mm.
And I just kind of you know it just slowly kind of moved away till I started being more to myself, um hanging out less, doing less things with them, like on those levels.
Yeah.
So
Did you
yeah,
used
it
to?
did.
Sorry.
It, yeah, no, I would, because I used to drink. I would smoke weed, go out to parties. I still like parties are still okay,
Yeah.
but I haven't been to a party. But I like to dance, so it's
For
just like
sure.
so. But yeah, so I used to hang out, a lot. But I was out also too. I was still selective even then when I would hang out, because I was always enjoy my own company in a sense, or just being kind of like a loner in a sense.
Mm. So you mentioned vibration earlier. What got you into that way of thinking? Because you mentioned drinking, smoking, those were sort of low vibrational things. So what got you in the thought of that being even a category, like low vibration, high vibration? Where did that come about?
Ooh, I would say just studying different concepts, different people, uh, reading books. You would hear this type of language, you know, and like that, the spiritual type of talk. And I was kind of heavy into like, just different spirituality books, and different concepts. So it just started to make sense when I would, learn, and just learning about self. Like,
Mm,
I would hear that concept of that there's a higher self and then a lower self, and the lower self is, based in all these like appetites of the flesh, or um, you know,
mm.
on that level, I guess. Just
Yeah,
yeah. So
totally. I hear you. Just like you mentioned, appetites of the flesh, pleasure
yeah,
seeking through, we mentioned the alcohol, pleasure seeking through the smoking. You could even pleasure seek watching YouTube.
right, right.
Do you have any book recommendations just off the top, just regarding what you
Ooh.
were getting into, or even in general, but just on that, I was just in that topic
Uh,
too.
on that level, the the seven is I would say the circle seven Quran. I think Desi even mentioned that when he did his interview. But it's a book prepared by Noble Drew Ali. So it's like a little small pamphlet book, but yeah, he just kind of goes into detail about, you know, that exact topic of like self, learning about self, you know, self mastery. So yeah, that or you can look into like it's RV Bay publication. That's a website that you know it's they talk about like Moorish literature, but it's really talking about self and self, like responsibility and just studying yourself, meditation, you know. So I guess those two things I would recommend, like the Circle 7 Quran would be number one for like self-study.
How did you come about that book and that person and that knowledge? Like that's a different wave, because I don't hear a lot of people talking about that, but then it's certain type of people that talk about that. So how did you come across it?
Well, this would then go back to having a time to actually watch. I was just heavy on YouTube, really. YouTube and watching lectures, and like it was, you know, this real underground, like Black consciousness type movement, like 2000, early, you know, 2012 and 2013, 14. They would do these like lecture debates, and you know, you know, they were just, you know, putting out a lot of information. So I just kind of just listen basically, and then I would go and try and research some of these names, some of these terms, you know, whatever books that I would see that they recommended, and I just kind of dug in like that. So somebody mentioned a book, I'll just, you know, go on Amazon or eBay, or go to the library, and I'll just, you know, try to find out information and see if it, you know, connects with what they saying or what I think to be true. And that's basically how I got into that information. Just listening, pretty much.
And then what do you think fueled that desire to learn?
I've always had that, just curiosity. I'm just curious. It's fun, and there's a lot of stuff that I just don't know. Like, so, you know, as far as like even just, especially around that time, like our history, you know, in school never taught anything past, you know, either it was slavery, and then it will be the pyramids in Egypt, but nothing in between that. It will be the people in Egypt, they were kings and queens, and then next thing you know, is you know, 1492 is like what happened to all that time in between, you know?
For real.
So I was just once somebody opened that up to my mind, right?
Yeah.
You know, once I was opened up to that, it just made me want. I'm like, oh, okay. I just didn't know what I didn't know, so I was curious to find out, you know, what the information had to offer, you know. And it just opened my mind up to, you know, oh, okay, it's, you know, it's a connection now. It's a little bit of a connection to, you know, I didn't just come, there wasn't just slave ships and then that's it. Like there was, you know, a people doing something, you know, on this land and in Africa. So that was the fruit. That was what kind of made me want to, really search and see what's to the information.
Yeah. Have you been to Africa?
Nope.
Would you go?
I haven't. For sure. Yeah.
Have you looked into what parts?
I have. I know I looked into like Ghana. Because I think I seen that they had like they were like welcoming like the like Africans in America to go to and move to Ghana.
Yeah.
I think it was some, I forgot, they had like some like publication or some like welcoming thing like that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was
Right now the name's slipping my brain. There was something like it's like that. It's right there for me because I've been hearing a lot about it. Every time I'm looking at those kind of publications where they're showing like, yo, go back to Africa, and people helping you because you might not know the language.
Right.
So then they help you have a home and then build out from there.
Right.
So speaking of Africa and like tropic places, you're in Chicago right now. I know we spoke about it a little before. What would be your ideal spot to practice the mucusless diet regarding that environment?
I don't know if it, okay, kind of froze, but I don't have a specific place in mind. But I had in general, like, I thought of like South America, somewhere where like, or like Central America.
Okay.
Somewhere like in those, in that sphere. Just somewhere where it's, the sun's out, it's, fruit trees or, things are able to grow.
Yeah.
So, but I don't have any like specific spot, but I think I have been like that's been in my mind though. Something I've been like thinking about, like where would be a good spot to check out.
Yeah.
That's because I think it will be, that'll be cost effective because a lot of places it's not that expensive, especially compared to living in the cities and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I'm definitely I definitely want to make a move or do something like that. So
have you ever
still in the work?
Okay. You say it's still in the work, that thought?
Yeah, still trying to flesh it out. So
have you ever grown food?
I've tried.
Okay.
I've tried. I had some I was growing some tomatoes out in the backyard. So
nice.
But the squirrels kept like taking all my tomatoes, man. So they didn't even let them like ripen up, man. So it's okay.
Okay. Is that something you plan on cultivating in your experience?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So
definitely, man.
Oh, were you about to say something?
Mm-mm.
Tying in to earlier, you mentioned self-mastery. How important is that to you? And how does that fit in with your practice? like of the mucusless diet? Is that a part of it, or like how do you see that fitting in? But also the first question of why is that important?
I don't know. It just feels like like a I'm just trying to fine tune myself. Just it's a bit of a challenge, but it's like I don't know. It just feels like that's what I'm supposed to be doing.
Mm.
You know, so like mastering self, mastering, you know, my thoughts. You know, um, being in control of what I can control.
Mm.
So, you know, mastering my emotions, my feelings. You know, especially just in the world you know, how people are in the world. I think we got like a lot of control over the environment as well. It's like if you know can master yourself, you master your surroundings as well. So you know your surroundings won't they can't affect you that much, you know. So um and what was the second part that you had asked about?
For sure. I appreciate that. Your answer. The connection
Uh,
between the food aspect, like you practicing the mucusless diet, where does that fit in with self-mastery? With your idea of self-mastery? Yeah.
right. So that's like, you know, the perfect, combination right there. Because not only now you mastering yourself, your thoughts, now you mastering what you put into your body.
Mm.
You cleaning out your body. You getting a better quality of blood to, you know, the blood that's connecting through the whole body.
Mm-hmm.
So you cleaning up your body at the same time. It just don't get no better than that, you know.
Yeah.
Because it's like you can get to a certain points with, you know, contemplation and, you know, meditating, but it's like if you still eating, you know, poorly, then your health, you know, will take a toll eventually. And it's like how can you focus on self mastery when you laying in bed or you sick a lot of the time? Like it's like you really, it will be almost counterproductive to go through that, because it's like, oh man, mentally and spiritually I'm up here, but physically I you know, I I can't do much. So
Yeah.
that's why I think the diet plays a role in that aspect. Like, yeah, because now you fit to think. You can think better. You can, you know, no pains. No, you know, it kind of helps with that your physical level. So
Word. For real. Speaking of physical, do you exercise? I know you mentioned you like to dance. I was also curious, like, what kind of style do you play with?
yeah, I mean I can do like most of like the modern, some of the modern dances that they do now. But I can't really dance, but I can dance, if that makes sense. So it's like if you just like, man, dance, like if you just tell me to like dance, I probably won't dance or I can't dance. But if I'm like, you know, in a mood, I'll hit it like a little move or something like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, but no, I do. I the past like years, like growing up, I do enjoy like working out though, like, you know, weightlifting.
Mm.
I kind of slowed down a little bit. Just I guess the motivation to do it isn't always there.
Uh-huh.
Because I think in the past I was, always kind of more so stimulated, where I
Yeah.
would take something to kind of like help me just get rev my engine up to work out. So
Mm.
lately I've been trying to do it more like I guess I'm trying to get more consistent with it, but not so intense.
Yeah.
So I'm like trying to learn that dynamic
Mm.
because I'm used to going so intensely when I work out. And I was like, nah, man, I want to focus on my breath, and really stretching, really more of a holistic exercise instead of just like trying to build muscle and strength, like
Got
I
you.
have in the past. But
Yeah.
so
How'd you get into with the weightlifting? Were you doing like bench press and all that kind of stuff too?
yeah, so I would do because I was into like bodybuilding a little bit.
Okay. All
Because in
right.
the past, like, yeah, so so yeah, like I was into like, getting the protein, get protein shakes, and doing all the sets in the gym, and just trying to like get bulk up, pretty much forcing myself to eat a lot of the times. But yeah, I don't know. I guess, yeah, I think because I used to play basketball too.
Mm.
So getting like lifting weights, and that was like always a part of playing sports and stuff like that, being strong. So
Yeah.
after I was just always into that world, like working out in sports and stuff like that. So from a
Did you
young age.
play? What'd you say?
No, I was just saying from a young age, I had always been into like exercising and stuff like that.
Word. Did you play in school too?
I
Like sports in
I
school?
did briefly, yeah.
Word.
So yeah, briefly. But I played like for like the park district, like we would have like teams there, like tournaments. So I think I did play in school, in grade school for a little bit, and then when I went to high school, I played like 1 year, and then I didn't play after that anymore.
Yeah.
So
So you mentioned the traditional way of building muscle where you were talking about force feeding yourself. And how has your perspective shifted since starting the mucusless diet and that previous approach when it came to just eating?
so that when I think about it, it it made it, man. I mean, you build up bad habits pretty much. Like I had a bad habit of like overeating sometimes.
Yeah.
So I did like bring that into the diet in my early years of transitioning
For sure.
of like overeating. And that took like a while before I, really like figured that out. So um, it, you know, I think when I was like doing that, eating so much and trying to force myself to eat to gain, more weight. Um, I was never listening to my body because it would be times where I didn't want to eat, where
Yeah.
I wasn't hungry, and I would still try to continue to eat. So transition that made me help me with that to actually start reading my body. And it's definitely been a benefit on that level. It's just like, I don't have to, I can stop whenever I feel full, fulfilled or satiated. I'm like, that's enough,
Yeah. You felt like you were able to get to that point?
Yeah.
Over time?
Over time, yeah. Because it was, still had that, like, man, I got something on my plate. Let me just, eat it. Even though I'm feeling like a little stuff, like,
Yeah.
Just that habit of doing that, so. But after a while, I started feeling, and too, it was, I just wasn't feeling well after I would do that. So it's just like me continuing to, like, put myself in this like being uncomfortable. It's just like, it didn't make sense. I was like, it's not, like, I'm feeling uncomfortable. If I continue to eat, just why not just stop eating? And that's all. Like, okay. Just keep hitting myself over the head, until I get it. So just being hard-headed.
So speaking of stopping to eat, how has your fasting been on this system?
It's been rational. That, I think that's the best way I can put it. Because I'm not like doing, the most I'll do 2-3 days, unless it's been times where I just wasn't feeling well, then I would extend it. But it was just rational. I'm still working on breaking the fast a little bit better. I can still, that's something, an area I definitely need to, like, work on. But lately I haven't been so much focused on the fast, more so like just trying to be more mucusless, or get more vegetables or green juices, and like that's kind of been my where I'm at with it now.
You still rocking with that? Like more
Oh yeah,
greens currently? More green juices?
green. Also, like cooked fruit or like applesauce. So I'm doing like that, even less, like just raw fruit. Yeah, just dialing it back.
Okay.
Just a little bit. Yep.
Yeah. So how come you're not ashamed to say that you're dialing your practice back and you're stepping back into the, like, more of the cooked veggies, more cooked fruit, more, I'd say, more of a neutralizing phase, as opposed to just being all raw fruit juices, water fast, dry fast? Like, how come you're not ashamed that you're that you're eating taking a step back?
One, because I've been in that space where I'm just doing the fruit juice, and feeling like I would feel, you would go through those phases, a bunch of different times throughout the year, and I don't know, I don't know if I feel like I hit like a plateau with doing it, drinking fruit juice, or but I just felt like I should definitely take a step back. And two, I felt like maybe I was being a little bit too aggressive. So I don't know if I really took the time to go through like a slow down transition, and I plan, for maybe a couple years of doing it this way. I've never like, you know, cause the fruit, like it just tastes good. It's not even that I'm, you know, wanting to be like aggressive, like, you know, pineapple juice, like orange juice, like that. It tastes really good. So, so it's easy for me to just, man, I can drink that, you know. But I don't know. I just feel like for me, especially being like a uric acid type, just really dialing in on like the vegetables and the green juices to like neutralize that acid, you know, maybe for a couple years. And then when my body, you know, is, you know, when my body reaches that level to take on, you know, more fruit, more raw fruit, fresh fruit, or, you know, the juices, then I'll do that. And that may be years down the line, but I'll play around with it. There may be a couple of days where I do like the fresh juices, but you know, I'm gonna just stay here for, you know, as long as I can before I like move forward. And I just feel like it'll, I'm setting the groundwork, you know, for myself. So, you know, the future gonna look, you know, I don't know, just the future will look like I'm just taking the right steps in the right path, you know, and I'm not moving too fast, you know, I'm not moving too slow. It's like I'm just hitting that groove, and just sticking with the transition, just, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, because as I know, like say most people would prefer to just dive right in and go, you know, all fruit.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I understand, but also like I think I remember you saying this too, like just having respect for the fruit, like.
Oh yeah.
You like, because it'll bring up some stuff that, you know, that you may not be ready to handle, like, you know, because it helps with detoxing. So it's just like you want to be cautious too while you're doing this, because, you know, you'll run into some problems that fasting or something like that probably won't just bring you out right away. So it's just like you just want to kind of crawl through this, you know, and before, you know, you want to crawl before you start walking with this.
Yeah.
And that's just why I'm trying to take it, where I'm, you know, taking my time, crawling, you know, building up a good foundation, and then, you know, I'll start sprinting maybe in 20, 30 years, you know, be sprinting like Brother Ehret, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. I'm thinking about how Brother Ehret was this year. Like, I hope he's still rocking with the fast. Like, we rooting for him coming up to Ehret Day. Just no solid food. Where he already went 6 months. No solid food. He said at least a month, almost a month, or a month, no food or liquid. Like, what are you talking about? And
Right.
no enema. Like, just like straight up, just like, huh? Like, food? Nah. I'm like, water? Nah, I'm cool. I'm good. I'm just gonna sit here. Like, that kind of vibe. Like, that's crazy, yeah. Nah, that's high level.
Got the
That's
name, bro.
yeah, yeah.
Brother Ehret.
Yeah. Yo. Yeah. Every time I think about what Brother Air's done, just at different points in his life, I'm amazed, like, to reflect on that and then basically use that as like I know my experience. right? Like I know, okay, I did, like how you mentioned, like I did a 2-day fast. So I know how that feels. I'm like, all right, I know I did this liquid fast, had some juice for these 2 days, or I have fruit for a week or 2 weeks, right? Like something like that. But then how he took it through his transition over years, he set up, you mentioned it too, like it was like 20 years of him just practicing the system methodically and just by the book. Then he was able to jump off that point and start really exploring some things. And that was where I'm talking about the week of fruit or the 2 weeks of fruit. Brother Air did a year on fruit. Or yeah, the 100-day fast. Like to then go up to the 8.5 month or 8 month, and then the 9.5 month. It's like, yeah, my mind gets blown at the human potential and just that possibility of you being able to do that, or us being able to do that and still do work. Like not even like, all right, you doing that, but then you just laid up just in the bed or something. It's like you doing that, but then you active. So then that's a whole different kind of way of being in the world.
Definitely. Totally agree.
And then you mentioned, Brother Air, with that 9.5 month fasting video last time we talked, like it seems like that was one of the main connector pieces for a lot of different practitioners. Was that piece? How did you find it on Professor Spira's channel?
Yep. That was my introduction to both him, Brother Air and Professor Spira.
Just that one video?
That one video.
Yeah.
I seen that. You know, you read the the title of it. You're like, wait, 9.5 month fast? I was like, hold on, let me check this out, man. You hear him, talk about his story and the things that he doing, and it all just made sense. He made it was sounded so rational the way he put it out, and you know, um, yeah, I just knew, like, okay, this guy's definitely, there's a lot of truth to what he's saying. There's truth in what he's saying. Like, I just believed him. Like I was like, yeah, because I would hear about, because I was researching, I would hear about like breatharianism and stuff like that. So that was in the realm of like all the studies that I was doing. And so I would hear it, but I would hear it from other people, and it just, it didn't feel like complete. Like they were saying like, oh yeah, we humans, we can just breathe, or you hear people with this kind of melodic type of, just breathe air in and out, and you don't have to eat, but they never tell you, how to go about not eating. So to hear him then, you know, been doing it, and then he's been, doing enemas, and
So it cut off a little bit. You
hasn't
said
eaten and still seeing weight come out.
sorry.
Okay.
No, it cut off a little bit. You said to see him doing it, and then it broke up a little bit. Could you, yeah, do you remember what you just said?
Okay. Yeah. So, if I recall, is seeing him, you know, uh, just break down basically. Seeing him talk about how he basically transitioned into doing the really long fast, and then him, you know, discussing like a lot of the details of like doing enemas, how he was, you know, doing these long fasts, not eating anything, drinking a little bit of juice, but still having his waist come out, you know, and that was intriguing because I don't think I ever heard, you know, just that the waist and the intestines like that, or anything about something like that. So
Yeah.
it just all really just made sense. I was just like, wow, this, you know, I think around that time, if I'm not mistaken, I had the book. I think I was just really getting into the book, so I don't think I read it all, but yeah, I was definitely like, yeah, around that time, like reading it. So
Word. Anthony's talking about the Mucusless Diet Healing System by Professor Arnold Ehret. If y'all didn't know, get a copy.
man, get that.
Yo. Yeah, straight up, man.
And then too with, you know, Dave, just watching his video, like Spira, all the content that he put out and the information, that really helped me understand it about the transition, even for what I'm doing now. Like, you know, I gotta give a lot of credit to Spira, you know, always reinforcing the transition and taking it, you know, taking your time with doing it. Yeah, I just like his approach as well. So, you know, I try to implement, you know, what they say, you know, and just follow the they just laid out a blueprint, you know, a path, and it's just like, here you go, you know, you can take it and, you know, walk through it. You know, we left a path for you, so, you know, I'm not doing nothing special. So it's just like I'm just following the path like that they laid out for me. So I just wanted to say that. I know I don't think Spirit gets enough credit, or the credit he deserves. But I want to make sure he gets some, you know. Because we can talk about Brother Ed doing the, you know, fasting, but like Spirit, you know, he put all this together and put the information out there. So it's just like, and then, you know, the way he, you know, really implements the transition. I just like that, you know.
Yeah.
I like that, you know, so.
And he goes hard emphasizing transition. Just like transition. That and studying.
Man, yeah, right. Right.
But for real, my friend, when I got into the mucusless diet, my friend was the one who put me on. So this was more like a physical being who was helping me out. And he pointed me straight to Professor Spira's channel and Brother Air, like with that 9.5 month fast video. And it was over. It was on. Just clicking him and Tony, clicking him and Brother Air, just his videos where he's sitting by the books in his library or his yard, like just with the whole gear on. And yeah, he really created a full encyclopedia where you could go to Professor Spira's channel, go to that search tab, and if you had a question about muscle building or weight loss or enemas or raw fruit, you could type that in and find something about it. Find a conversation that was had about it. It's amazing.
Oh, for sure. Definitely. Yeah. Definitely left those, like you say, a library or encyclopedia. You know, you can if you, like you say, you got any question, any thought, anything you think you don't know about, you start, especially if you starting out practicing, and look at all that information. Keep looking at it. Go back to it. You know, I do.
Yeah.
So, you know, whenever I feel like I need to brush up, you know, on the information, I go right to, you know, the website, or I'm in Spirit Speaks. I may, you know, look at some of the poetry, or like, you know, just some things that just maybe to help inspire you. Sometimes it's not always you know, the technical stuff, but you may find some, you know, that'll kind of like, okay, you know, if you're feeling down or something like that, just to reinforce like what you're doing, you know.
Most definitely. So while you speaking, and the site is mucusfreelife.com if y'all didn't pick that up. Yeah. But speaking to the viewers, we can come to a close here, but I wanna get you here sharing what's your message to those tuning in.
My message, I would say, get the book if you don't have a book. Like we were talking about, with all the information on, you know, on mucusfreelife.com. Check out all the information. Get real familiar with the information. Get all the books if you don't have them. Make this. I don't know where everybody wants to take it, but you know, I've made it, you know, my life to at least made it the most important thing in my life. Because without health, what, you know, you really can't do. What can you do if you don't have health? So I mean, that's the best way to put it. You can go out and make all the money, but if you know you sick, you laying in bed, it just, you can't enjoy life without your health. So it's got to be the number one thing that you know, put your focus on. So just get informed, get the information, and you know, go from there. Watch the videos. Spira got out all the old videos. I watched them. I had them playing in the background for hours. 5 hours of watching stuff straight. You know, so
Yeah.
to, you know, get in tune with the information. That's the best for anybody that's watching. You know, you know, we didn't talk about do the enemas also.
Yeah.
You know, if you practicing the diet, even if you're not practicing, you know, you could, you know, do the enemas.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
Yeah, that would be my message.
Okay. Nice, man. Yo, thank you. Yeah, thank you for coming on. We started out just on that discovery of self tip. Spoke about the book recommendations. You said the Circle 7, the Holy Circle, or the Circle 7 Koran.
Right.
And then RB Bay, huh? Publications.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got into that information, got into the social aspect of being around friends and family and those looking at you and your practice, first starting out joking, but then coming to respect, putting some respect on your practice. Yeah, getting into that.
Facts.
Touching in on self-mastery, just wanting to control the thoughts, emotions, just control what you can control. You mentioned, and then how the mucusless diet is hand in glove or just hand in hand with self-mastery, because it's like, yeah, the thoughts and the emotions are in the body or just come into the body, but so is food, and that's more and on the physical realm. So having that control, like, nah, I don't want that sandwich. Nah, I'm good on that sloppy Joe. I'm trying to clean out my blood, clean out my my intestines, and clear out my thoughts. So touching in on the self-mastery, we got into sort of the ideal spot to kick it. You say you formulating that right now. We got into your transition when you talking about the slow transition, where now you're taking the time to get into the groundwork, building out your mucusless diet practice, getting into the more vegetables, more of the green juices, more of the cooked fruit. And I did want to ask, do you make your green juice?
I do. I make it. Sometimes I buy it too, like the cold press. If they got it in the stores, I'll drink that too. But I try to make my own.
Word.
Yeah.
So we got into that, like your transition, really stepping away from the more aggressive nature and saving that, like the aggressive nature of all the raw fruits, all the raw juices, the raw fruit juices, and fasting, and being rational with the practice. And then including shout outs to Brother Air, shout outs to Professor Spira for spearheading this whole movement, and really giving us an example of high level practicing of the diet, just what that could look like. They're just examples. It's like you could be doing a different career or just different way of being, but you still, how you put it, you have that blueprint. Professor Spira and Brother Air, they laying out the blueprint for you to walk that path, and then you just adapt it to your life, whatever that looks like. You have that cut path out for you. And then and then just to cap it, it went to everyone tuning in, like tune into the information, really get a grasp of what this is about. This movement, Mucus Free Life. Get in the books, watching Professor Spira's videos on his channel, checking out mucusfreelife.com, looking at the blogs. Like, it's so much information that you can get into and apply to your life. There's nothing that you can't do when you get the information. It's nothing that you can't apply. You just brought up, even if you don't practice, you could do the enemas. Like, what's better than that? How you talking about, like, you don't even have to practice, but you could still benefit from one of the aspects of the system. So I do, yeah. I might have missed something, or maybe not. I don't know, but yeah.
Nah. I think that's pretty much it. I don't know if so I've been practicing since 2015, in the summer of 2015.
Yeah.
So about almost 6 years now. Coming up on 6 years.
Yeah.
So if in case anybody wanted to know how long I've been into it, so
For sure.
yeah.
Consistent. Yeah.
Yeah. So, man.
Nah, that's
think about that.
for sure, man. And that's impressive. Like, that's a real meditation, I feel. It's like, yeah, it's a constant reflection when it comes to this
Yeah,
practice.
I agree. Definitely. Yeah. I feel like I'm doing it every day. Like, I eat this, but I don't take it that serious. But I'm just like, all right, it's more fun. It's more just, it's fun for me to practice because it's just like, you know, if I do something, if I eat something that I wasn't planning on eating, I'll just like, tomorrow, I'm gonna be mucusless tomorrow, and that may not even happen. But my intentions is always to be better than I was the previous day. So
Totally. And that ties in with earlier when you mentioned about refining yourself, like from the
right,
self-mastery aspect, you're just refining
right,
each day, even if it's like, all right, I didn't eat mucusless, or yeah, I ate some mucus, but I paired it with a better salad today, or I
right,
paired it with more salad today, something like that. It's
right.
just boom, that little improvement.
So like today, I give an example before we wrap it up.
Okay.
Just even what I ate from yesterday and today. So yesterday, my plan was to go mucusless like yesterday and then today, but it didn't work out. So, but I still, I ate like I had some like applesauce with some dried fruit earlier in the day, and then at night I had a salad with some cooked vegetables, and I ate that. But I also had like these like veggie chips at the end that I just bought at last minute. I'm like, let me just buy these. For some reason, I just thought I should buy them, and I ate them. So today I was like, okay, let me see if I can do a little bit better, and I did. The only thing I ate today, I had some baked bananas. So I had like a green juice, because I fasted pretty much half the day, and then like around 5 something I had it's like some dates and like a little bit of a couple like walnuts, and then I had like the baked bananas, and then a salad with like cooked like baked zucchini. So just that little. I didn't have nothing after the salad. I was done. So
Yeah.
you know, so some stuff like that, like just trying to just refine it a little bit. I may have like a little bit of nuts, but it's just like it was better than the vegetable chips that I had at the end of the last meal that I had the other day. So
Yeah. No, I feel it.
right,
I feel it.
yeah.
Yo, thank you. Yeah, thank you for being here and being open and just sharing your experience. I think that's refreshing to just have a natural expression about you. So thank you.
Hey, I appreciate you, man, for bringing me on, man. It's you know, it's cool, man. It's just a cool, you know, the information is cool. I think it's something that definitely needs to be heard, or needs to be seen a lot. So just you bringing this platform out, it's another outlet for people to see, other practitioners that's doing this or other health things. So this is important. Like
Word.
we both playing a part in something that's pushing the culture in the right direction. So thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Word up. Yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Thank you. All right.
Yep.
Well, let's see. If y'all watching, if you like what you just saw, then click like. If you have any questions or you want to drop a comment below. And if you want to continue with all of this on this journey, click subscribe and we can vibe. Peace out.